Buenas tardes, queridos líderes de Rotary. Es un honor para mí acompañarlos el día de hoy en esta
It's an honor for me, dear Rotary leaders, to address you today. Even though my first language is Spanish, I will be speaking to you in English, a language that I only learned a couple of years ago. And I do it because I learned how to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
In March 2020, I had a panic attack. I couldn't breathe and I felt a terrible pain in my chest. I genuinely thought that I was having a heart attack. It has been a few days since the World Health Organization declared COVID as a COVID-19 pandemic. And I was in the middle of my exchange year as a Rotary Youth Exchange student in southern Mississippi in the United States. Think about it. An 18-year-old girl was stuck in a different country with a foreign language that she barely knew 6 months before and people that she didn't really know. It was very, very, very scary. Fortunately, uncertainty is something that I am very familiar with. Being born and raised in Venezuela, I learned many things about overcoming adversity. You might know that my home country is going through one of the worst political and humanitarian crises in the Western Hemisphere. But my mom always said that challenges are nothing more than needs that require a solution. After a few days of decompressing and processing my feelings with a clearer mind, I read that Isaac Newton, that we all know, discovers the law of gravity and invented calculus during his quarantine in the Great Plague in 1665. I couldn't bear with the thought that I would spend all my free time watching Netflix and getting overwhelmed by the news. I needed to take action, but I didn't really know what to do. I called my Interact and Youth Exchange friends, as Paul Harris would have done, and together we followed Rotary's 4 strategic priorities and adapted to the circumstances. We decided to organize an online meeting to share projects and get inspired by what everyone else was doing. But how did we get the word out if we were all stuck at home? We created a WhatsApp group and shared the information on Instagram and Facebook. In that first meeting, we had 70 people. This was within 3 days. The majority of them were students from 17 different countries. There was power there. Because we couldn't host our annual District Interact Conference in person, we decided to do it online. In just 3 weeks, we organized a conference with over 2,000 participants with high-profile speakers. Yeah. 2,000 students, 3 weeks. And we had high-profile speakers such as past President Mark Daniel Maloney, that I've seen him here, and past President Holger Kanak. And I bet you guys remember because we had a NASA astronaut, Dr. Stanley Love, that shared with us how to be successful during isolation. It was very cool. The guy had been in space, so it was incredible. So to engage the students, we launched a 60-second video competition, and we asked Interact clubs and the exchange students how they were taking action during the pandemic. We started a TikTok trend where you record yourself, wash your hands while reciting the 4-way test. You can look it up. You can look it up because hundreds of students joined our challenge, reaching a couple of thousand people on TikTok and Instagram. After the conference, we established a core team of youth and Rotarians. Our conversations led us to build a multi-continental online platform for Rotary youth worldwide to share their experiences and inspire others with projects ideas during isolation. We look for mentors and supporters that will allow our group to connect youth, share cultures, and open opportunities for international service projects. We decided to call it Rotary Interactive Quarantine, or RIQ, because we love acronyms in Rotary. As we grew, we developed programs and created working groups. We divided our groups into regional areas, each adapted and cared for the region's specific needs. This also created an opportunity for local collaboration and small groups of students to support each other's well-being during such a hard time that the pandemic was. We organized online activities from President Jennifer Jones speaking on her vision of youth programs to student-led cooking and dancing classes. One of my favorite programs was the twinning meeting. You might wonder, what is that? We match over 200 Interact clubs with another in a different country to exchange cultures and collaborate on service projects. Kind of like an online friendship exchange. After only 1 year, we actively engage with over 5,000 students from 80 countries. We unlock the power of youth in their region. We strengthened youth participation in districts, zones, and even internationally. Several of our team members became District Interact representatives and now are serving in zones and district committees. Some of us got even to serve in Rotary International Councils. But eventually, the quarantine restrictions were being lifted, and the needs of our participants were changing once again. At our last official meeting as Rotary Interactive Quarantine, or RIQ, past President Barry Racine, who we all love, were the road actors. He was our keynote speaker. He shared with us the work of the Shaping Rotary's Future Committee. So, inspired by Barry's presentation, we realized that change on a bigger scale was possible. There was no organization defined in the Rotary Code of Policies which we could easily align with. So after assessing our needs and getting feedback from our participants, we decided to transform Rotary Interactive Quarantine into the Rotary Youth Network, or RYLA, another acronym. We adapt once again. Past President Barry's advice was to keep our organization participant-centered and also to collaborate and work in synergy with the Rotary staff. A couple of our members, including myself, were selected to serve on the inaugural Interact Advisory Council. That gave us the opportunity to present to the RI Board of Directors about our vision for youth in Rotary. Our presentation inspired President Jennifer Jones and her team to create the Youth Advisory Council in Rotary International, which I'm honored to serve as the co-chair of. We, young leaders, inspired the creation of a council in Rotary International. We started an organization like no other in Rotary. Sponsored by District 6840, the Rotary Youth Network was launched officially at a breakout session at the 2022 Rotary International Convention in Houston. 5 of us, recent Interactive Youth Exchange and RYLA alums, traveled across continents to launch an organization we started working together 2 years before online. The convention was the first time that we ever met in person. And we all stayed in the same house. It was really cool. When my friends and I finished our talk and realized that over 500 people were giving us a standing ovation, tears filled our eyes, and the feeling of excitement and accomplishment took over. Who would have thought that a panic attack would lead to this? Not me. Our success relied in our ability to change and take meaningful action in uncomfortable and uncertain situations. Our capacity to understand and involve all the stakeholders in our community is what opened the doors for these opportunities. Even though challenging situations obligate us to make significant changes, we don't need to wait for another pandemic to evaluate what we're doing and shake things a little bit or a lot. What are the things that are not working in your district? The good news is that you don't need to be necessarily the one that brings up the innovation. You can be the one that supports and opens opportunities for it. And that can look very differently. You can be like my American mom, Samantha Wally, who's also district governor nominee. She became the mentor of Rotary Interactive Quarantine and walked with us in every step of the way. Or you can be like President Jennifer Jones, that when she found out about us in 2020, she included us in the Rotary Telethon for COVID responses and let us know what a great job we were doing. Being open and approachable will make people feel more comfortable and likely to share an idea, especially the young leaders in Rotary that need your support. We want our team members to look at things differently. It starts with including diverse people in our team. Diversity, equity, and inclusion play a massive role in innovation. When we have people from different backgrounds, different ideas will flow. And of course, we have to address the diverse generations. Younger people often leave the organization because they feel like they cannot share their ideas, or they might face obstacles when they do. I would like to challenge you to create a team and to gather different people where you can identify and remove challenges that you might find in your region. Because I will never imagine I could introduce a change like my team and I have done in Rotary. We saw a need in a very, very tough situation, gather a crew and brainstorm about what was meaningful for us. We reached out to our advisors, people and organizations that have to do with youth in Rotary. We adapt and made mistakes along the way. But thanks to the feedback, we designed the Rotary Youth Network and inspire Rotary International to establish a new council. We transform how youth programs interact with members in Rotary International. We changed the path of youth programs in Rotary. The world is changing exponentially. And if we don't adapt and change, our organization will not succeed. And our legacy will be only in history books. But we don't want that to happen because we love Rotary, don't we? And we are responsible for making sure that we are even more relevant and impactful now and for years to come. I like to call myself a disruptor, always trying to change and try new things. I just changed the language of my speech a couple of days ago. Thanks, President. Thanks, President-elect Gordon, for being so flexible and let me change the language at the very last minute. And thank you for believing in me to speak about something that is completely out of my comfort zone. I would love to invite all of you to act as disruptors and to encourage innovation. Take risk and adapt to the people and the world around you to change Rotary's future. Muchas gracias.